Yo, what's up, everybody? I've been wanting to cover marathon for a while now, and then Bungie started dropping so many videos and sponsored videos and everything like that. And then I got the flu and was down for like a week and a half, 2 weeks almost, trying to, just intake all of this, watch lore videos. I'm like 30 hours deep on lore videos. Shout out to M, shout out to Jake the All Right, the old videos from a little while back of like, my name is Bife. He dropped a lore video originally, things like that. I've just been consuming and consuming and consuming, but I've been wanting to talk about this game for so long, and I'm glad that I could finally just sit back and start here. They just dropped this. This is their tolerance on cheating and everything like that. There's a quick video we're going to watch together here, and then we're going to go over the article they posted as well. So let's just jump right into it.
The world of Tau Ceti is a dangerous place. You should either be dying because Tau Ceti and other players got you, or that you make a bad decision.
You want to know that it's a level playing field. All of the information that you're getting needs to be precise and accurate.
These are the things we have to get right if we're going to make a game in this genre. Like, it's non-negotiable.
Oh, is that it? Okay, yeah, that was super quick. Yo, this stuff right here, the Xbox stuff, by the way, crazy. But we're not going to get into that right now. We're not going to get into that right now. We're going to jump into the article. Now they're saying it's non-negotiable, so let's see what they say in the article. I also saw on Twitter that they posted, once you're banned, no second chances. So let's read into it. Let's see what they're talking about. Tau Ceti 4 is a dangerous world where death is certain. That said, we want you to know that your deaths are due to your own mistakes or enemy outplays, not because your run was compromised by network issues, cheaters, or the hardware hosting your connection to the world. No network or security model can guarantee perfection, which I agree. I think this is one thing, before I continue reading, already off on a tangent. We as gamers need to be better about, in general, anti-cheat is just like antivirus. Like, it's a constant back and forth tug of war scenario. Like, as cheaters make cheats and find exploits and vulnerabilities and everything like that, Bungie and other developers, for games like, Valorant, Overwatch, and so on, Tarkov, like, they, combat that by building, and plugging those holes and everything like that, and building better anti-cheat off the things they find, and then the cheaters find other ways or get better and things like that. So it's a constant battle. It's an arms race. So we have to understand that it's probably going to happen in the competitive space, but we also, if for example, with Marathon, if Bungie is on top of it and they're banning like left and right and they have this zero tolerance policy and everything like that, we have to back that as a community and be like, hey, that's dope. We know you're trying your best. Like, we can't be like, they're letting everybody in. Now, obviously, if they fumble and they don't stop it and there's like this massive issue, there's a different conversation. But if they are giving this no nonsense, no second chance talk and they stick to it, we as the community need to be on their side and support them on that fight. Anyway, no network or security model can guarantee perfection, but we are committed to protecting the marathon competitive experience and ensuring everyone has their fair chance at exfiltrating with a backpack full of sweet loot. Sick. Overview. Before we get too deep into the weeds, here's an overview on how we're protecting your experience. Marathon dedicated servers are fully authoritative on key combat and looting actions, provide a layer of protection against cheating. Okay, for those that don't know, you have client authority and server authority in video games. The more things that are server authoritative means the server is doing the work. Like, you're asking the server for permission. So if you ask so when you do something like they're saying here, like looting, you're asking the server for permission. Like, it's not client to client or anything like that. This is a layer to where like the server, like it allows the server to be like, yes, this is okay, no, this isn't, kind of ordeal. New networking systems allow our movement and actions to feel responsive while the server carefully tracks each bullet to its target, even with high packet loss. This is pretty high-end stuff. If anybody's been in the competitive scene, obviously you've had latency issues where like you're around a corner, get hit anyway. That's usually a packet loss thing. They're saying they have some new stuff in place to make that feel better. Not to use a game that is going through it pretty crazy right now, but Ashes of Creation, their servers were insane. Like the technology in their servers was crazy. I could connect to European servers from here in the States and have 60 ping. So like there's been some advancements in like the networking tech in gaming, and if you could do that on like the MMO level, I'm assuming down here at the, like the, 30 people on a server level, it's going to be crazy. And that should be awesome. Fog of War limits the regions of a map that individual player clients have knowledge of, limiting the effectiveness of wall hacks, ESP cheats, and loot revealers. Okay. We've rebuilt our game security stack from the ground up for Marathon, in addition to our extra layer of security provided by BattleEye. Okay, cool. And for those that don't know, things like, because I always see these kind of talks like BattleEye and like easy anti-cheat and everything like that, they'll see those things pop up and be like, oh, this game doesn't have very good anti-cheat. Those are just main layers, and those main layers stop like 90% of what happens. The other 10% is the unique to that game, and that's where Bungie, Valorant, whatever game out there that you play, that's where they can put their focus, and that's what's really, really dope. So that's a great layer to have when you're trying to lessen the blow of exploits and things like that. Let's see. If you lose your connection mid-run, you could reconnect and continue playing the run. That's always good. Reconnect features are always great. I wonder what happens to you in-game, though. That's something we're going to have to, like, find out, right? Like, if you drop connection mid-run, are you just standing there ready to be shot? Like, can that happen? Because that can suck. But at the same time, like, you also don't want to be able to, like, DC mid-run, mid-fight, and just like disappear, right? So I wonder how they're actually handling it. Maybe we'll get some more detail on that later in the article. If connection recovery fails due to an issue with Bungie's server or network infrastructure, we attempt to return the starting gear to all players. That's good. So if they have a server outage, they compensate you for that. That's good. Anyone found to be cheating will be permabanned from playing Marathon forever. No second chances. That's super strong. That's a super strong statement. Let's take it to the traditional account for most games. And it's not always the case, but in most scenarios, what happens is player will get caught cheating, and there'll be, like a 30-day ban, a year ban, whatever it may be. They always get that next chance later. I've never been okay with that, and I'm glad Bungie's coming out and saying, hey, we're not doing that. Even so, cheaters, what they'll do is they'll, spoof IP addresses, things like that. So we'll see how they combat that as well for those that do go the extra mile and, repeatedly cheat and everything like that on new accounts and stuff like that. So we'll see how they handle that. And how they detect those things like repeat offenders and stuff. Product security is never fully solved, and we'll continue to invest in our game security systems, which is what I was saying earlier, the tug of war, the arms race, and everything like that. All right, so dedicated server networking. In Marathon, the dedicated servers is fully authoritative over movement, shooting, actions, and inventory. That is great news. Traditionally, you used both client authority and server authority because you want to have the best client experience possible, right? You want you want the game to feel as good as it can. Because so when something's has full server authority, like it's server dependent, point blank period. Like, so shooting and getting shot around a corner, things like that, it's fully server dependent. But you would have some client authority over certain things, and then there would be a talk afterwards and be like, hey, the server's like, hey, this is what actually happened. With full server authoritative environment, it requires your networking to be crazy good. So if they feel comfortable going full server authoritative, I'm going to assume that they figured this networking thing out, and that's dope. The new server authority model means that invalid client actions will be rejected without impacting players' experience. This protects the gameplay experience against exploits such as teleporting, unlimited ammo, damage manipulation. We pair this model with new systems for client-side prediction and rewind. This allows your movements and actions to feel immediate and responsive in the moment, but the server can correct your view of the world to match what actually happened if it needs to. This kind of sounds like rollback that you would see in like fighting games, like rollback netcode and stuff like that, which is really dope. I've always wondered why we don't see this more in shooters. I'm assuming it's just much more complicated and complex. But if this is like rollback netcode, that's super cool. I hope that is what they're saying there. Our new high performance networking model includes server side adjudication of every hit per shot tracking and redundant transmission to reduce the effect of packet loss and ensure that every bullet lands. The dedicated server performs aim compensation with rewind on every shot individually. This allows you to hit shots reliably on enemy players, even when they are moving rapidly in and out of cover, while you are compensating for bullet travel time. It also means that players with good internet connections cannot be shot behind cover. That is a bold claim. That's a bold claim. And again, this sounds like rollback netcode. We will see. That is a bold claim to make in a genre, and I'm going to use online shooter, not extraction, in a genre where this feels like it happens a lot. Even in the best of games with, high tick servers and things like in CS, we see it in Arc Raiders all the time, right? Like you get around a corner and get shot because the tick rate's too low. Things like that to like games like Valorant where, like, in my opinion, it feels best, but it still happens. So we'll see. Lastly, we're invested in a global network of data centers to strive to provide players a network experience that is low latency and responsive for most players worldwide. Okay, that makes sense. So you got servers everywhere, so everybody can play. And it feel good. I wonder how that's if this means that there's no region locking. And if that's the case, I wonder how good they feel about this rollback netcode. Fog of War. The Marathon Fog of War system runs on the game server to limit regions of the map that players have knowledge of, based on what they should be able to sense in their surroundings. This helps keep gameplay secure from exploits that reveal locations of items or the contents of its containers. It also helps keep your position hidden from player clients, reducing the effectiveness of things like wall hacks or ESP cheats. Okay. So with Fog of War, basically what they're doing is they're like turning off those parts of the map. I'm assuming server side, so the client can only see what they should be able to see. We'll see how well it works. That sounds dope. I wonder. It's really tough to imagine this kind of system working really, really well when you have a character who mechanically can do this with Thief. And I'm wondering if cheaters will find a way to like just basically turn those mechanics on for any class, and then while it still doesn't let you see people around the map, but like if they're in the same building with you, what's it matter, you know? So we'll see. Client security. In addition to the server-side security measures listed above, we've invested in several client-side security upgrades. We use a combination of third-party game security software plus proprietary security layers, many of which are new for Marathon. Our security includes both user mode and kernel mode components. This is good. I know a lot of people hate this whole like kernel anti-cheat thing, but it works. Are there still cheaters in Valorant? Absolutely. But in my thousands of hours in Valorant, I've dealt with less cheaters than something like CS, which doesn't have kernel level any cheat. And I can get a cheater within like 3 or 4 games in CS. So like kernel level anti-cheat does work. Please do your research on what kernel level anti-cheat's actually doing, and don't just believe the misinformation out there on kernel level anti-cheat. Game security is a never-ending arms war with bad actors, is what we was talking about earlier. Yeah. This means sharing details about methodologies for protecting our games can inform those bad actors on how to defeat them. With that in mind, we hope this high-level snapshot gives you an idea of how we're addressing client security. Yeah, they're never going to tell you in detail, no company should, about how they stop cheats. There's so many things out there, from like algorithm-based things to player behaviors and everything like that helps stop cheating. They are never going to talk about how they do it, and they never should, because exactly what they said, they don't want to give the cheat makers any intel. Analytics and detections. Our servers are constantly collecting data on everything a player is doing. Like I just said, the telemetry is the run through our backends. This telemetry is then run through our backend analysis system to look for unusual gameplay patterns and anomalies. I literally just said that. That's what they look for. They look for player behavior and stuff like that. Yeah, exactly. That's exactly what it is. Our security analysts are working hard to ensure a level playing field across all supported client platforms and input devices. So even if something suspect slips through in the moment, we may catch them later after a deeper dive into the data and issue a ban accordingly. This is basically what the kernel level side does. Along with the telemetry and stuff like that. It looks for how you do things differently compared to how you normally play. Like, let's say you're ass. We'll just say it. You're trash, right? And then all of a sudden you're hitting every shot. You know where every bit of loot is. Like, you're looting only specific boxes. Like, that is what this thing's picking up on. And it may not catch you that first time, because it could be like, oh, maybe they just had a great run. But if it keeps happening and you stay super consistent and everything like that, they're going to look deeper. And then if they find something crazy, you're out of there. And obviously, wall hacks. Connection recovery. When you are in the middle of a high-stakes run, losing your network connection can lead to a life or death situation. If you crash or get disconnected, your shell will remain in game world and can be protected by your crew. Restart your network connection if needed and launch it back into the game to reconnect to your shell and complete your run. In the event that an error occurs on Bungie's server or network infrastructure, connection recovery may not be possible. We will attempt to ensure that any player affected by a server error will have their starting gear returned to them. Note, gear refund only applies to a subset of server error conditions and will not cover gameplay losses due to internet connectivity or client-side problems. Okay. So if it's on you, it's on you. Again, they don't really talk about, like, they talk about, like, your friends can protect you. What happens in a solo run? I'm going to assume that, like, it's just up in the air. Like, if your dude gets shot, because they say right there, your character stays right there. Your shell is just out in the open if that's what happens. So I'm going to assume if, like, you're in a solo run or if you're the last one alive and that happens, it's just up to fate. Economic security. Over time, you may fill your vault with weapons, gear, and anything else you acquire on Tau Ceti 4. We take your investment of time seriously. We strive to keep your progress safe and protected from item duplication and other economic cheats. Okay. And this sounds like we just saw that happen in Arc Raiders, right? With the duplication, right? Like they saw it, and if you were tampering or exploiting too much, they got you. They hit you with a ban, took your stuff, whatever it was. So that seems, you know, par for the course of the security in the extraction genre, and that makes sense. Our commitment to ongoing service, networking, and security will be an ongoing conversation within the Marathon community. We are committed to making your experience on Tau Ceti 4 fun, engaging, and fair. We will continuously be monitoring the live game and will make frequent updates and investments to our network technologies and security measures. We are taking a strong stance against cheating, and anyone found cheating or developing cheats will be permanently banned from playing Marathon forever. No second chances. They've bolded that and said it again. This is good news. I love this stance. I need more devs to have this stance. That said, no system is perfect, and we will have an appeal system to monitor for any issues in detection. Your first chance to play a slice of the final game is coming up soon with our server slam starting on February 26th. All of our security tools will be online then, but if you do suspect foul play, please report through our online report form. Cool. Yeah, this all sounds fantastic. I think, again, time will tell, and we will see what they actually do to repeat offenders and things like that. That, again, is a very hard war to win, but I do wish them the best of luck. And as they said, they're going to continue to work on this with the community, so please, and when you're out there getting that loot and you get bopped by what you suspect is a cheater, just put the report in, move on. Don't shit on the devs, help the devs. We can do this together. We can make a dope world together. Let's live in it, be a part of it, build something great. I'm Milty. I appreciate y'all hanging out today. I will catch y'all on the next one. Peace.